Okay, so we'll do our new temple prayer. So you can repeat after me. Our dear Lord Krishna, kindly give us your causeless mercy and allow us to become instruments in the service of Srila Prabhupada. Let us follow in his footsteps to grow the movement and build this new temple in your service. Srila Prabhupada ki. Just checking if I had any other miss. Okay. So yes, if you have a cell phone, please put it on silent or turn it off before the class starts. And if you have restless children, you can take them out into the lobby so that it doesn't disturb the speaker. Thank you. So our speaker today is His Grace Shyamkund Prabhu. Haribo. Prabhuji has been part of the congregations for I don't know how many years, but 25 years. And Prabhuji is also my Bhakti Vriksh leader. He is my inspiration in Krishna consciousness. So I have a lot of respect for him. He's very humble. He's the backbone of this temple. Everything that goes on, this whole Sunday program is led by him. He's a disciple of His Holiness Niranjan Maharaj. Prabhuji gives fantastic classes, as you will find out. I don't know coming from. And Prabhuji, yeah, in addition to all the work he does at the temple, he's has a senior post at a large corporation, so he's working nonstop, traveling around for his job. I don't know how he does it, but he does somehow. So please give 3 loud Haribos for Shyamkund Prabhu. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So let's like to welcome His Grace Shamit Rishi Prabhu. So nice to see you, Shamit Rishi Prabhu, after a long time. Thank you. I would also like to invite, welcome two Rajavasis, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu and Kasturi Manjari Mataji. Welcome. Hare Krishna. So, can you see the screen? All right, so last month we had an important festival, the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, which is Gaur Purnima. Next month we are going to have one more big festival, which is Narsingha Chaturdashi. And we are halfway through both festivals. So I thought tonight, why don't we speak about those pastimes where both Gauranga Mahaprabhu and the Narsingha Bhagwan are together. So that way, we kind of glorify both the festival. So before we talk about these pastimes, so let's take the blessings of our Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is on the altar. We'll chant a bhajan glorifying the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So and then we'll discuss about this pastime. So many of you know this bhajan, so let's chant this bhajan. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya karo more Daya Prabhu Daya karo Tum bhina के दयालो जगत संसारे जगत सारे पतित पावन हेतु तव अवतारा पावन हेतु तव अवतारा मोक्षमा पतिता प्रभो न पैभे हारा प्रभो न पैभे हारा आहा प्रभो नित्यानंदा आनंद सुखी प्रेमानंद सुखी कृपा भलो खाना करो আমি বড় দুঃখী কৃপা বল খানা করো আমি বড় দুঃখী दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई दया करो अद्वैत गोसाई दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तव कृपा भाले पाय चैतन्य नित्य चैतन्य नित्य अहा स्वरूप सनातनम रूप रघुनाथ रूप रघुनाथ बट जुगा त्रिजीवहा प्रभु लोकनाथ त्रिजीवहा प्रभु लोकनाथ दया करो प्रियाचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास दया करो श्रीयाचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास रामचंद्र संघ माघे नरोत्तम दास 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 जय गौर नित्याय Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Sri Sri Gaunitya ki, Sri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Bhakt Hanuman ji ki, Srinath ji Gopal ji ki, Nrsimha Bhagwan ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Again, thank you so much for joining. So, as I mentioned, tonight we'll discuss about the past times where both Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nrsimha Bhagwan, they're participating together. As you know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared roughly around 500 years back, and Nrsimha Bhagwan appeared probably millions of years back. But the wonderful is they have done so many pastimes. We will not be able to discuss all those pastimes tonight. But I have taken like few of them so that we can understand how both these great personalities have done so many pastimes around 500 years back. But before we discuss about these pastimes, let's talk about why do we even worship Lord Narsingha in ISKCON, in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. As you know that Lord Krishna appeared about 5,000 years ago. He gave the Bhagavad Gita. It all in the Bhagavad Gita, he analyzed and said that bhakti is the highest process among all the different paths. And he finally says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Bhaja, that forget about all different paths, surrender unto me, do not fear, and I will take you back. But he stopped. He didn't give how to practice bhakti, how to practice devotional service at our level. And Lord Krishna was thinking, I missed that point when I appeared 5,000 years back. So he was thinking about how should I give that process. And that is why he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years back to give that bhakti, the devotional service. But the beauty of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is he didn't want to give any kind of bhakti. You know, bhakti is also that is different level. He wanted to give the Raja Bhakti, the Vrindavan Bhakti, which is the highest level of bhakti. And this bhakti, this devotional service in Vrindavan is devoid of all kind of opulence, is devoid of awe and reverence, no formality, and no majesty. It's a simple, loving relationship. That's why if you see Lord Krishna, when he's in Vrindavan, he wants to hide his divinity. He wants to hide his majesty. And he says, if anyone, even the devotees, understand my majesty, my opulence, this thing, then you are not qualified to come to Vrindavan. And you can come to Vrindavan Dham, but you won't be able to be part of my pastimes, the intimate pastime. And Satyavat Muni mentions this in the very famous Damodarastakam. Same point is mentioned. Does anyone know which verse is that? The third verse. Let's chant that together. Iti dvasa lila birananda kundhe swagosham nimanjantam akhyapayantam tadiyeshu dadneshu bhaktajitatvam puna prematastam sata prativande. So Satyavat Muni is also saying in the same point here, he says that Tadiyas means the devotees who are very close to Tadiyeshu Dadneshu. If they know the Gyan of the Lord Krishna, then they will not be able to submerge Nimanjantham. Where? Ananda Kunde. In the pools of ecstasy. So it's the same point. If someone knows the opulence of Krishna, then that intimate relation cannot be done with the Supreme Lord. This is a very special bhakti, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give that bhakti to us. Now, if you look at Lord Narsingha Bhagwan? What is it, Lord Narsingha Bhagwan? It's a formal, it's a Vaikuntha Bhav, awe and reverence, opulence. You will not see Narsingha Bhagwan stealing butter. You will not see Narsingha Bhagwan playing with, or somebody is trying to tie Narsingha Bhagwan. Have you seen that? It's not. Because it's a Vaikuntha Bhav. It's the highest Bhav. So that is what Lord Narsingha's worship is concerned. Then question comes is, if we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, then why are we praying Lord Narsingha? Because it doesn't fit together, right? But in reality, if you see, there is no difference between Lord Krishna, Lord Gauranga, and the Narsingha Bhagwan. It's just another aspect of Lord Gauranga or Lord Krishna. Because Krishna and Gauranga Mahaprabhu, they are not incarnation. They are rather the source of all incarnation. They're not avatars. They are avataris. Right? Ete cham cha kala pumsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So they are the fountainhead of all the incarnation. So Narsingha Bhagwan is one aspect of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meant specifically to protect devotees and the devotional service. It's like a man at home, he must be playing with the child and he's doing all household activities. But in the office, he might be a police officer. So he has two different duties in the office and at home, but it's the same person. So if ordinary persons like us can do this, what about the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So that is why there is no difference between Narsingha Bhagwan and Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And in fact, the devotees don't see the Narsingha Bhagwan's face as an angry. They don't see the anger. Rather, they see the love which is manifested as part of the anger. See, when we get angry is because of, frustration, because of greed, because of, so many other things, or because of mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Is Narsingha Bhagwan's anger, is it because of mode of ignorance? Is it because of mode of passion? Then it's mode of what? No, it's not even mode of goodness. Because he is beyond the mode of goodness, which is known as pure goodness or Shuddha Sattva. We might be in mode of goodness and we get angry sometimes. But Narsingha Bhagwan is a mode of Sattva, Shuddha Sattva. What it means is, at that level, when somebody angry is always good. Good for both sides. When we get angry, something goes bad, right? But when they get angry, always good. Even now, today, when we chant Narsingha prayers, we chant Hiranyakashipu's name after millions of years. It cannot happen when we get angry. It's because of Narsingha Bhagwan. As you know that when Narsingha Bhagwan killed Hiranyakashipu, they were thinking, who will pacify him? So they decided, okay, let Indra go first. Then Indra said, I cannot go. Then they said, Chandra, you go. Chandra said, no way I can go. They tried Surya and so many demigods. None of them were ready to go even closer to Narsingha Bhagwan. Then they finally decided that Lakshmi Devi, his eternal consort, should go. She said, I have never seen this part of my husband. Sometimes we do the drama and Prabhujis do some acting and we hear the comments from Mataji, right? I have never seen this part of that, right? So same way, Lakshmi Devi is also saying here, I have not seen this. So finally they sent whom? Prahlad. And Prahlad happily went because he felt pure love even though he's angry. So this is why we pray to Lord Narsingha, because of the protection of devotees, protection of devotional service. So Narsingha Bhagwan has a critical role in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So we will first look at two pastimes, a couple of pastimes where this is indicated. But first, let's understand how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years back. As you know that Navadvip was the kind of a capital of all intelligence. Like people come to Harvard and Stanford, right? 500 years back, Navadvip was that. And people from all over India, all over the world used to come to Navadvip for education. People were very like scholars. But the problem was devotion was missing. People would chant 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita like this, but no devotion. That was a very pathetic condition in Navadvip. When Advaita Acharya saw this, he said, no, this cannot happen like this. I need to do something. And what did he say there? Only way this issue can be solved is if I bring the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Navadvip. But the problem is how to bring him. See, today if you have to bring the mayor or the governor, we have to go through so many difficulties. But here we are talking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can you bring to the Navadvip? So, so Advaita Acharya started looking at different scriptures, and finally, in Gautamiya Tantra, he came across a verse, and he thought, yes, this is the secret. This verse has all the information about how to bring the Lord to the earthly planet. Now think about it. We come across so many verses, right? How often, how many times do we really take seriously? But Advaita Acharya realized that this particular verse from Gautamiya Tantra has the potency to bring the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Navadvip. And what is that verse? Tulasi Dhalamatrena Jalasya Chulukena va Vikrinite Swahatmanham Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavatsalaha. Said Tulasi Dala Matrena, by offering just the Tulsi leaf. And Jalasya Chulukenava. Jala means water, Ganges water. And how much is he asking? He's not asking big tankers or big ocean of water. Chulukenava means just a palm full of water. If you offer it with love, Supreme Personality of God is ready to do Vikrinite Swatmanam. He is ready to sell himself. In other words, he is ready to become a slave. Very strong, right? And then he says that why is he doing? Because Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavasala is very dear to his devotees. And when he becomes a slave, when he sells himself, he's ready to do anything. He's ready to get bound, he's ready to get beating, he's ready to come, he's ready to become a driver of a chariot, whatever you want to do, he's ready to do. This is why Rupa Goswami says that one of the qualities of pure devotional service is Sudurlabha, means extremely difficult to achieve. Because why would somebody sell himself, right? Krishna doesn't want to sell himself cheaply. That's why it's Sudurlabha. So, Advaita Acharya started with this verse. He started offering Tulsi Dal and the Ganges water to Saligram Shila. And then the interesting part here is he could have chosen Radha Krishna deities, he could have chosen Ram Parivar, so many things. But he chose Saligram Shila, and not only Saligram Shila, he chose Narsingha Sila. He prayed actually to Narsingha Bhagwan so that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can come. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that offering. So you can see right from day one, Narsingha Bhagwan is there in the appearance of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, in appearance of this starting of Gaudiya Sampradaya. So this is the importance of Narsingha Bhagwan from the day one. So Narsingha Bhagwan ki, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Now let's look at a couple of pastimes where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is saying that I am non-different than the Narsingha Bhagwan. And these two pastimes have happened in Srivas Angan in Sridham Mayapur. If you have been to Mayapur, you must have visited this, right? This is the birthplace of Sankirtan. This is where the Sankirtan movement started. So, when 500 years back, the Navadvip was ruled by Chand Kasi. And he was not very favorable to Vaishnavas, he was not favorable to the Sankirtan, he was not favorable to a lot of things. And devotees were getting persecuted, and a lot of wrong things were going on. And Srivas Thakur was thinking, how can we continue practicing this Vaishnavism in Navadvip? I had to do something. So one day he woke up early, he did all whatever he has to do in the morning, all his seva. Then he started praying to Narsingha Sila in his room. That please help me so that all these problems which is happening because of Chand Kaji can go away. Now when he was doing an offering, when he was worshipping the Narsingha Sila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was near the Ganges. And interestingly, on that particular day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in a very interesting mood. He saw the Ganges, and there were some cows around the Ganges. He thought this is Vrindavan. And he mistakenly thought that Ganges as Yamuna. And then he was suddenly in the mood of Vrindavan, Vrajadham. With that ecstatic mood, he ran to Srivas Angan, Srivas Thakur, and said, Srivas, where are you? I want to talk to you something. And Srivas was not there at all because he was locked in the room offering prayers to Narsingh Bhagwan. And Mahaprabhu looked around everywhere in the courtyard and finally saw the room locked. He just broke open the door. And then he asked Srivas, what are you doing? And Srivas said, I'm offering prayers to Narsingh Bhagwan to protect the Vaishnavas in Navadvip. And Mahaprabhu was so angry. And at the top of his voice, he said, don't you know that the person to whom you are praying is right in front of you? Why are you doing this? As long as I'm here, do not worry about Chandakazi. Do not worry about persecution. I will handle it. So this shows that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has said that he is none other than Narsingh Bhagwan. The second pastime also has happened, same in Srivas Angan. One day Srivas Thakur, he wanted to do the Shraddha ceremony for his departed father. It's a ceremony, like you generally do it for departed family members. And as part of the Shraddha ceremony, they invite like a lot of Brahmins. And as a part of the ceremony, they also chant the Vishnu Sahasranam, that 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. So there are Brahmins sitting in the courtyard of Srivasangan, and they were chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. And meanwhile, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there. Now, as you know that in that Vishnu Sahasranam, at one point, you recite about Narsingha Bhagwan. And when they were reciting about Narsingha Bhagwan, suddenly the mood changed for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His eyes started getting red, his body started shivering, and slowly he was getting in the mood of Narsingha Bhagwan. And then hands were starting, like nails were starting crawling and all. And he looked around, and there was a club which was lying in Srivasangan's in that courtyard. He picked up the club, and did something very interesting. Let's see what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions. Narsimha Aveshe Prabhu Hate Gadalana Pasandi Mariya Yaya Nagare Dhaya. Said, in the mood of Lord Narsingha Dev, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ran through the city street, club in his hand, ready to kill all the atheists. Narsimha Aveshe Dekhi Mahate Jamaya Patachari Bhage Lokapana Bhadabhaya. Seeing him appearing very fierce in the ecstasy of Lord Narsimha, people ran from the street and fled here and there, afraid of his anger. Now remember, Narsingh Bhagwan was 7 feet 2 inches tall, taller than most of the basketball players. And now on top of it, he's in a Narsingha, so not in Narsingha Bhagwan. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was 7 feet 2 inches tall. And on top of it, he's in the Narsingha's mood, and he's ready to kill all the atheists, and he's screaming on top of his voice with a red eyes in the street of Navadvip, and everybody fled. And he was, at one point, all the streets were empty and only Mahaprabhu was going around. Now devotees felt bad. They were thinking, they went and held, like actually 4 or 5 devotees, they went and held Mahaprabhu and said, Mahaprabhu, what are you doing? You are unnecessarily creating the fear among the residents. You should not be doing. And finally, Mahaprabhu came down, came to his external consciousness, and he says, I have done a great aparad. One should never unnecessarily create the fear for the innocent people. So, but the point here is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking the mood of Narsingha Bhagwan. And you see here, there are a couple of learnings, right? From Srivas Thakur, you can see that by praying to Lord Narsingha, you can get Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So in our life also, we go through difficulties, whether it's personal difficulty, whether it's like a difficulty because of external reasons, difficulty because of our own sadhana, so many things. But if we honestly pray to Narsingha Bhagwan and ask his help, he will help. He will take us closer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the lesson we can learn from these two pastimes. As you know that after taking sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri. How many of you have been to Jagannath Puri temple? Many of you been. If you see the Jagannath Puri temple, right, that campus has not just, of course, the main deities are Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, but there are more than 30 other deities in that whole temple courtyard. And one of those deities is Narsingh Bhagwan. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, every day he would take the darshan of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, then he would spend at least an hour in front of Narsingh Bhagwan and glorify him. That is, you can see how much important Narsingh Bhagwan has in our sampradaya. When Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati he sent his disciple to England for the first time, he gave them Narsingha Kavach. He said, Maya is very strong in the West, but take this Narsingha Kavach, it will protect. As you know that ISKCON was established in 1966 and it started growing exponentially. And until 1974, there was no Narsingha prayer in ISKCON. But as the movement grew, of course, there is more envy from others. So the devotees were getting attacked, the temples were getting attacked. Los Angeles temple was attacked in 1974. And Prabhupada says, no, we have to now start praying to Narsingh Bhagwan. And that is where he introduced the Narsingha prayer in ISKCON for the first time. What he did is the first part of that, the prayer, right? Namaste, Narsinghaya, Ito Narsingho, all that, till Narsingha, Narsinghavadi Shravanam Prapade. So the first two paragraphs, right? These were chanted, this comes from Narsingha Puran, and these were chanted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri in front of that deities. Then Prabhupada combined that with the another verse from the very famous Jayadev Dashavatar Stotra by Jayadev Goswami. And he combined these two verses and made as a prayer for ISKCON. And since 1974, we have been chanting Narsingha prayer in ISKCON. So that you can see there's so much importance is given in Gaudiya Sampradaya. Now let's look at some of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As you know that one of the major events which has happened from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life when he was at Jagannath Puri is South India Yatra. South India Yatra. So let's see how now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Narsingha Bhagwan, they are doing interesting pastime together during the South India Yatra. As you know that from Orissa, Jagannath Puri, when you come down south, the very first state you hit is Andhra Pradesh, right? So after stopping briefly at Kurmakshetra, Mahaprabhu came straight to Simhachalam. Simhachalam is one of the important temples. This is for Sri Sampradaya, is one of the 108 Divyasthanam, important places of pilgrimage. Now, the Simhachalam, Simha means lion, Chalam means the hill. So on this hill, there's a very famous deity called Varaha Narsingha or Jiyada Narsingha in local language. Jiyada in Telugu means live or living. Jiyada Narsingha Bhagwan. So Varaha Narsingha is the main deity here in Simhachalam. Now this is a very interesting deity. It has a head of a boar, the body of a human being, and the tail of a lion. So it's a combination of like Varaha and Narsingha Bhagwan together. Varaha Narsingha Bhagwan. Now you might ask, why is this deity formed like that, right? As you know that Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Prahlad different ways. He tried to beat him, he tried to put him on the boiling oil, so many things. Nothing worked. Finally, he said, I have one final solution to kill this Prahlad. What is that? He said, throw him from the cliff, throw him from the hill, let him go to the ocean, and then you throw a big mountain on top of it so that he's finally done forever. That was his idea. And his servants did the same thing. They threw him from the cliff, they took the big mountain and they pushed it. And the mountain was coming down, whereas Prahlad is absorbed in Lord Vishnu. He didn't care, mountain is coming down. And when he was about to fall on Lord Prahlad, Vishnu just appeared there and just held that mountain with his finger. And he asked Prahlad, Prahlad, tell me what you would like to, you have been praying to me, what do you want from me? Prahlad said very interesting that time. He said, My dear Lord, I know that you have already killed. That time Hiranyaksha was already killed. He said, you killed my uncle Hiranyaksha in the form of a boar, Varahadev. I also know that in the future you are going to kill my father, Hiranyakashipu. But right now, I would like to see that form which are together. And Vishnu immediately turned into a form which is Varaha Narsingha. So that means Prahlad Maharaj actually knew that what is the form which is going to come in the future to kill his father. So this is how this is Varaha Narsingha, that together. So after Hiranyakashipu was killed, um, Prahlad established this temple. He actually is a self-manifested deity because of his prayers. The deity manifested Varaha Narsingha and they built a temple. And Prahlad's son took it over and he continued. But as you know, that as the time passes, everything gets destroyed. So the temple was destroyed. And this murti, this deity, it was hidden under a big ant hill in Simachalam for millions of years. It so happened that next Yuga, Trita Yuga, one of the kings, Puruvara, ninth canto, Puruvara, right? Pururava, sorry. King Pururava, sorry, yes. He was flying on Simachalam with a celestial damsel, Urvashi. And he was having his own great time with Urvashi. And Varaha Narsingha looked at this man who is a Vaishnava. What is he doing with Urvashi? I need to do something. So Varaha Narsingha deity immediately took the form of a boar and attacked that chariot. And then Pururava tried to kill that boar, but it didn't work and he just escaped. And that night, Pururava got a dream saying that in the dream, Varaha Narsingha came and said that this is my, I actually came as that in the form of boar, but I'm hidden in that ant hill, do something so that you can excavate. And Pururava did that and he excavated. And then he said that now you are excavated. So far I was in the ant hill, but I am still angry because of that Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And because of that, is so much heat coming out of me. So to control that heat, what you have to do is apply a layer of sandalwood paste every day and break open once a year during Akshaya Tritiya. So that practice is still going on in Simachalam today. They apply every day the sandalwood paste, and once a year you can see the deity because they break apart all that chandan and then you can see the real form of the deity only for 12 hours. Again, they cover it up. So they say that on Akshaya Tritiya, they roughly have about 1100 pounds of sandalwood paste and they distribute, and this is what Chandan Yatra means. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so ecstatic to see Varaha Narsingha Bhagwan, and he chanted actually of course he was started with Hare Krishna mantra glorifying, chanting in ecstasy, but then he chanted 2 verses in front of Varaha Narsingha which are very important, and this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let's chant this verse. So the first verse which he chanted in front of Varaha Narsingha is, so please repeat. Sri Narsingha, Jaya Narsingha, Jaya Jaya Narsingha. Sri Narsingha, Jaya Narsingha, Jaya Jaya Narsingha. Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Pradma Bhringa. Let's chant one more time together. Sri Narsingha, Jaya Narsingha, Jaya Jaya Narsingha. Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Vringa. Glories to Narsingh Bhagwan, glories to Sri Narsingha, Jaya Narsingha. And who is this? He is the Isha, the Lord of Prahlad Maharaj. And Padma means the Lakshmi Devi, Padma means lotus flower. He says, he is the Lord of Prahlad Maharaj and he is holding the lotus face of the goddess of fortune all the time with him. So all glories to that Narsingha Bhagwan. So Mahaprabhu chanted this verse in, and it's not that he would chant once or twice. He would chant this verse for 4 to 5 hours. And then he will go again Hare Krishna mantra, and then again next verse. So another verse he chanted which glorifies the Narsingh Bhagwan as a king, as a majesty, as a great, ruler. And this particular verse he chanted with a slow meter because it's kind of glorifying the king. So let's chant that verse also with the kind of a meter which Mahaprabhu used in Simachalam. Ugropi anugrahe vayam स्वभक्तानां नृकेशरी केशरीय स्वपोतानाम् अन्येषाम् उग्रविक्रमः Ugropi anugra evayam. Is ugra, but is anugra. He is ferocious, but is very kind. Swabhaktanam, for him, for his devotees, is like Nrikeshari. Nrikeshari is giving an analogy here. Keshari means lion. He says, Keshariya Swapotanam. Lion has a very ferocious, and its mouth is considered the most dangerous. But when it picks up its cubs, how does it pick it up? Through the mouth. Right? For a cub, it's the most safest place in the world. But for others, Anesham Ugra Vikrama. So this is the analogy of the Mahaprabhu. Actually, this verse gives. And Mahaprabhu would chant this verse over and over and over for hours. And then he would glorify the Simachalam Varaha Narsingh Bhagwan. Varaha Narsingh Bhagwan ki, Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki. Next stop in the South India Yatra is Ahobilam. This is the birthplace, actually not the place where Narsingh Bhagwan actually appeared. You see that on the left bottom, there's a flag there. This is called as Ugra Stamba. This is actually a structure. Right now there's a Ugra Stamba, means there's a pillar. And it is said that this is exactly the place where the original pillar was there when Chaitanya Narsingh Bhagwan appeared. So this is Ahobilam, and this is also one of the main temples, especially for the Sri Sampradaya. Now, how did this word Ahobilam came? As you know that when Narsingh Bhagwan killed Hiranyakashipu, all the demigods, for them it was like a Broadway show, right? They were throwing flowers, and they are always enjoying this type of show. So they were throwing flowers, and they were saying, "What a power! What a power!" Now, of course, they were not saying this in English. They were saying this in Sanskrit. So they were saying, "Wow, what a power!" So in Sanskrit, when you have to say "wow," it's aho, and power is balam. So they were saying aho balam, and that become aho balam. So right now to this place. So in this place in Ahobalam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sang, of course, Hare Krishna mantra, but he sang something very interesting, Narsingha Mahamantra. How many of you heard Narsingha Mahamantra? See, as you know that every time when the universe gets created, there is a presiding deity. And that presiding deity actually gives knowledge to Brahma, and the Brahma becomes the secondary creator. So as you know that current universe which is created for us, Lord Krishna is the presiding deity. And Brahma Samhita says that, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. And Lord Krishna imparts knowledge to Brahma using his flute and Kama Gayatri mantra, right? But it's not necessary that every time the universe is created, Lord Krishna is the presiding deity. Sometimes it's Varahadev, sometimes it's Lord Ram, and sometimes it's Lord Narsingha. Now, when Lord Narsingha Bhagwan is the presiding deity of that particular universe, he has to impart knowledge also to Brahma. And he uses Narsinga Maha Mantra to impart this knowledge. So let's chant this Narsinga mantra. I'm sure all of you know this. Let's do it together 2 times. Ugraviram Mahavishnum Jwalantam Sarvatomukham Narsingham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityor Mrityo Namamyaham Ugraviram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukham. So Mahaprabhu would chant this verse all the time. Now, if you look at this verse, it glorifies the 9 forms of Nrsimha Bhagwan. He is Ugram, he is ferocious, he is Viram, he is heroic. Ugram, Viram, Mahavishnu, he is a Mahavishnu also. Jwalantam, he is brilliant, he is like dazzling. Sarvato Mukham, he has face everywhere. Ito Narsingo, Parato Narsingo. Narsingha is half lion, half man. Bhishanam, Bhishanam means terrific. He is Bhadram, means auspicious. And then he is Mrityor Mrityum, he is the death of a death personified. So you can see these are 9 forms of Nrsimha Bhagwan. And these are the 9 temples you see in Ahobilam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited all these 9 temples, and he would chant this Ugraviram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukam Narsingham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityor Mrityum Namamyam. And he was in so much ecstasy chanting this for whole day. So Nrsimha Bhagwan ki, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Next temple in Andhra Pradesh again is known as Pana Narsingha. This is in Mangalagiri, in the district of Mangalagiri. Now, as you know that after Nrsimha Bhagwan killed Hiranyakashipu, it said that he came this place and took some rest. And this is where Lakshmi Devi, she made a pana. It's a jaggery water. Sometimes it's called panakam or pana. And she gave it to Lord Nrsimha. And this is the importance of this is called Pana Nrsimha. Now, Pana Nrsimha is a very interesting because it's a self-manifested deity, but it's not the whole deity. It's just only the mouth of a Nrsimha Bhagwan appeared. Of course, now they have made a deity out of it, but what appeared is just the wide mouth of Nrsimha Bhagwan who is ready to drink Pana all the time. So the devotees here, when they go to the temple, is open only till noontime because the idea is the afternoon time, the devatas, the demigods come and they worship. And devotees take gallons and gallons of this pana, jaggery water, and they pour it. Actually, you give it to the priest, and priest takes the conch shell and then he, feeds this deity. And actually, this deity makes a gargling sound, as if he's drinking this. Not as if he's drinking and he's making a gargling sound. And at one point, when the gargling sound stops, that means whatever remains is a prasad. Rest he drinks. And people bring thousands and thousands of gallons of this pana, the jaggery water, for every day. But one thing is very interesting. It says, not even a single ant in the entire temple, in spite of pouring thousands and thousands of gallons of this jaggery water. This is the specialty of this temple. And it is said that even today there is a conch shell which they use. There are, of course, multiple conch shell, but one of the conch shell which they use to offer this jaggery water to the Nrsimha Bhagwan is the original conch shell used by Lord Krishna 5,000 years back in Dwarka. So it's there in this temple. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so ecstatic in front of Pana Nrsimha, and he was dancing and dancing, and then he moved on to his future places. Nrsimha Bhagwan ki, Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. I know we have about 5 to 10 minutes, but I would conclude tonight's session with a pastime which you have heard many, many times. I have read it many, many times, but every time I talk about it, I get a goosebump. So it's better to share that how did this Lord Nrsimha Bhagwan came to Sridham Mayapur. ISKCON world headquarters, Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. How did he come there? Because it's the land of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Audarya, the munificent. the merciful Lord, why would Narsingh Bhagwan come to Mayapur? As you know, that 1984 May 24th, sorry, 1984 March 24th is one of the darkest day in the history of entire ISKCON. Just past midnight, around 12:20 a.m., 35 dacoits armed with guns and bombs, hand bombs, they attacked our ISKCON world headquarters in Sridham Mayapur. 12:20 a.m. in the morning, when all the devotees were sleeping. Devotees are not ready for this. So when they started attacking, devotees took whatever they had. Some took like the sticks, some took the bed sheet, whatever it is, they fight. But dacoits were equipped with all this, guns, and how can you fight? But still, devotees gave a very, very fierce fight. In the process, people were hurt. There was blood everywhere. People lost like arms or legs, whatever. So bad. Went on for a couple of hours. And then at one point, something happened. Devotees could not take it. The dacoits, they went on the altar, took the Utsav deity of Srimati Radharani and the Srila Prabhupada's deity, which are both made out of 9 metals, very precious metals. They took and started running away. And this was too much for devotees. So when that happened, a couple of devotees, they attacked one of the dacoits. He had a gun. They took the gun and killed a couple of dacoits. And in the process, these dacoits, they dropped Srila Prabhupada Murti and ran away with Srimati Radharani. And that deity was never recovered even today, until today. That was gone. So when 4:30 morning, when the Mangalarti, you can imagine the scene, right? There's a blood everywhere. There's a destruction. Srimati Radharani is not on the altar. So this is too kind of difficult for devotees to accept. So after this incident, the authorities, the management came together and said, what should we do? And they decided, then they realized that the same kind of incident had happened 50 years ago in the Vidyapith, the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that time, Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, they installed the deity of Narsingh Bhagwan in Vidyapith. And since then, for last 50 years, there was no problem at all in Vidyapith. So they decided that some of the authorities said that we should install Narsingh Bhagwan in Mayapur. But then there was an objection. How can you bring Narsingh Bhagwan? It doesn't fit with our mood of worship of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And for worshipping Narsingh Bhagwan, you need a Naishtika Brahmachari who is celibate right from his birth. So how is it possible? Then the discussion went on and on. Then finally, they came to a conclusion. They come to a consensus. Yes, we should get the Narsingh Bhagwan in Sridham Mayapur. Pankajagri Prabhu that time said that I will personally worship this Narsingh Bhagwan. And the two devotees, they said that, okay, we will take the responsibility of drawing a sketch of Narsingh Bhagwan. And we'll do the research and we'll draw the sketch. And they decided within 6 months, we'll have the Narsingh Bhagwan in Sridham Mayapur. And then devotees, they did some research, they drew the sketch, like with Narsingh Bhagwan. And then they were thinking where to go. Then, of course, as you know that in India, if you want the stone or the metal deities, the best place to go is South India. For a marble deities, you go to Jaipur, right? So these two devotees, they went to South India. And in there, they went to one of the most popular Stapakis. Stapaki means the sculptor, one who knows. And these are not ordinary sculptors, like they are not artists. They actually carve based on the Shilpa Shastra. And that's the difference between the deity and the idols. See, when Moses, when he came down from the Mount Sinai with the 10 commandments, and he saw his followers were praying to a form which is not authorized by the scriptures, he destroyed it. He called it idolatry. And we also agree with that. If anyone does an idolatry, means if you carve some kind of a deity without the from the Shilpa Shastra, it's idolatry. Sometimes I remember you go to this during Ganesh Chaturthi in Maharashtra, there is a lot of competition how to make Lord Ganesha cool, right? I remember seeing a Lord Ganesha playing cricket because they would do anything. And then once there was a conflict between India and Pakistan, Lord Ganesha was in army dress. So they would do anything, but that's actually idolatry. But here, these Stapak Israel it's not that they learn somewhere in the university. It's the knowledge, it's the art which is passed from generations after generation. So the ISKCON devotees went to one of the top Stapakis in South India, saying that, please carve this deity. Stapaki looked at this paper and said, no way I will do this. This is Ugra Narsinga, I'm not going to do it. And the devotee said, okay, if you don't do it, there are many other Stapakis, so what? They went to the second Stapaki. He said, no, I cannot do this. They went almost 20 to 30 Stapakis. Everyone said, I will not do this deed. They were very sad. They came back to Mayapur. Then the temple management said, you know what? Go back to the original Stapaki and try one more time. And they went back to the same Stapaki, the sculptor, and they said, can you do this? Sisi Gaunityai ki jai. Sitaram Lakshman Bhaktaman ki jai. Sinaji Gopal ki jai. So they said, can you do this? And this time, the Stapaki was a little bit different. He said that, if my guru approves it, I will do it. Then the devotee asked, who is your guru? He said, he is great Shankaracharya in Kanchipuram. Then devotee said, okay, then go and ask him. And this Stapaki went to his guru to ask, can I do this for ISKCON devotees? And this Shankaracharya, his guru said, don't do it. You will be completely destroyed. Don't do this. And he says, this is not just a Ugra Narsinga, what they have drawn. This is what is known as Stanu Narsinga. It's the most fearful among the Ugra Narsinga. Means his knees are bent, his hands are in the front, and his fingers are crawl like this, and he's about to jump from the pillar. And this is the most ferocious form of the Lord. So don't do this. The last time this particular deity was carved was 3,000 years back, and they installed in a place near Mysore in Karnataka. And over the years, they stopped worshipping. And today, that whole place is deserted. If anyone goes to that place, and if he stays at night, morning he's dead. That's the problem. So do ISKCON devotees want Mayapur to be like this? He said, don't do this. And Stapaki comes back and tells this to the devotees, I cannot do this because my Guru Maharaj has not approved it. But something interesting happened. After a couple of days, Stapaki got a dream. In his dream, his Guru Maharaj, Shankaracharya, came and said, you know what? For ISKCON devotees, go ahead and do it. Now, we don't know what happened. It is Srila Prabhupada interfered there, whatever, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we don't know. He said, go ahead and do it. Now, Stapaki woke up and said, is this my real dream? And then he said, then in the morning, same morning, he got a letter from his Guru Maharaj, Shankaracharya, and that letter was 3 pages long. And in the letter, his Guru Maharaj is writing about a temple which they are about to construct, and all details about how you to build a Gopuram, how you should build a chakra, everything. Nowhere it mentions about Narsingh Bhagwan. And then in the final, he signs his name, and at the bottom, as a postscript, he writes, by the way, for those ISKCON devotees, go ahead and carve that deity, Narsingh Bhagwan. So when the devotees heard this, they were so happy. They said, okay, we are so much, we'll come back after 4 months and the deity will be ready, we will take it back. After 4 months, they went back to South India. There was no deity, nothing. The whole workshop, the shed is empty. And they asked the Stapaki, what happened? He said, I had not found the stone. He said, what do you mean by you have not found the stone? There are so many stones. Can you not just take any stone and just carve? He said, no, I'm not carving a grinding mortar here. I'm carving the deity. The stone has to be live. It's a living stone. He says, how do you know it's a living stone? There's a consciousness in the stone. It is subdued, but it's still a living stone. And then he opens the Puran, this thing, scripture, and says, There are different ways on how you can say this is live stone. You have to hit the stone at 7 different places, and each places will come a different sound. And also there's a bug which eats the granite, and it has to go from one side to another. All these are details are there. He said, when I find that stone, I will install. I will create. So finally, after a few months, we found the stone. It took months and months. He says that even that one, the bangles or the, the some of the no, ornaments that Narsingh Bhagwan has it on the arms. He took like 6 months. He was doing it so delicately. And after a couple of months, when the devotees came, they saw, okay, the deity is finally coming. Then they said, we have one more request for you. He said, what now? I'm already doing Narsingh Bhagwan. We need Prahlad Maharaj also. Then they said, then the devotee said, we need then Prahlad Maharaj. And the Stapaki said, your Narsingh Bhagwan is 4 feet tall, and if I have to go according to the proportion from the Shilpa Shastra, your Prahlad Maharaj will be a mosquito size or the sesame seed. Then the deity, the devotee said, no, we want at least 1 feet tall. Then he said, your Narsingh Bhagwan has to be 200 feet tall. So there were arguments. Then finally he said, for ISKCON devotees, I will break my principle. I will do a 1 feet Prahlad Maharaj for a 4 feet Narsingh Bhagwan. So finally, both Narsingh Bhagwan and it took almost a year. Everything was carved, and Stapaki is so tired now. He said, "Let me take a couple of days off." So he closed the shed, his workshop. He went to next village to meet a couple of few of his relatives. Where soon as he reached his that relative's place in the next village, he got a call from his neighbor. He said, your entire shed, entire workshop is in fire, is burning. Please come back. And he came back and he saw, oh my God, the whole thing is burnt. There is not even a trace of shed, completely gone, except Narsingh Bhagwan in the middle. Nothing has happened. He's just standing there as if there is no fire at all. When he saw that, Stapaki immediately called the devotees in Mayapur and he said, please take your Narsingh Bhagwan ASAP. He's burning the whole town. And the devotees were so happy. They came, they brought the truck, they put, and Stapaki said, I will do even Netra Milan right here because, you just take him. I cannot handle this Narsingh Bhagwan. And they put him on the truck and they were carrying. And as you know that from South India all the way to the Mayapur, you have to cross several borders. And each state border, you have to pay the tax. So as soon as the police would stop him, they say, pay the tax. Devotees would go back and say, open the door and show him the Narsingh Bhagwan. And the police will say, okay, go ahead. So borders after borders after borders, they did not pay even single penny. And the Narsingh Bhagwan finally appeared in Sridham Mayapur. Narsingh Bhagwan ki jai. So as you can see, it's a more very ferocious form of the Narsingh Bhagwan, Stanu Narsingha, but he's very, very merciful. So let's chant that verse one more time, which Mahaprabhu chanted in Simhachalam. Please repeat. Ugropi anugrahe vayam Swabhaktanam Drikeshari Keshari Asaphotanam Andesham Vukra Vikramaham. श्री श्री गौरंग महाप्रभु की, श्री श्री नरसिंह भगवान की, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्णा। Question? Oh, Jai, very good. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice to hear that. Hare Krishna.
All right. Wonderful class and recollection of how Gauranga Mahaprabhu had so many nice pastimes with Nrsimhadev. Just reminder that May 11th, Sunday, May 11th, is the actual day of Nrsimha Chaturdasi coming up just in a few weeks. We will be having our big Nrsimha Yagya outside in the back there, where families can do their own worship of Lord Nrsimhadev and offer and glorify Lord Nrsimhadev on that day. It's a really wonderful event with maybe 50, 60 families doing Hotra, Agni Hotra, and doing a little fire sacrifice for Lord Nrsimhadev. So we'll give you more information on that in the coming weeks. But make sure you plan to be here for that day. Sunday, it's a Sunday this time. The actual day is on a Sunday. We'll be celebrating that starting probably around 2 o'clock, I think, typically. But we'll give you more information. So thank you. Let's give Shyamkund Prabhu a loud Haribol. Haribol! 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 Haribol. Okay, I think prasadam is being served. If you're honoring prasadam in the temple room, please vacate by 6:50 so the devotees can clean up before Shayan Darshan. Thank you. Hare Krishna.